సో స్క్రీన్ కనిపిస్తుంది మీకు.
సార్
స్క్రీన్ కనిపిస్తుందా?
కనబడుతుంది.
లెట్స్ ప్రొసీడ్. Kprod is the standalone database, okay, which we created today. We are connecting to SQL Plus. We are starting the database. It's a standalone DB. It's like a core database. Okay, it's not a rack database. It's a core database. So we have to migrate this database from non-rack to rack. Okay, the first thing we have to do here. So
సార్
చెప్పండి.
ఇప్పుడు కేప్రోడ్ అనేది ర్యాక్ లో ఉందా లేకపోతే
చెప్పారు కదా మీకు.
ఎస్ఆర్పి?
ఇట్స్ ఏ నాన్ ర్యాక్ డేటాబేస్. ఓకే,
అంటే మీరు ఇన్స్టాన్స్ ర్యాక్ 1 సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకున్నారు అందుకని.
there only we have database up and running. Okay, but it's a non rack database. I'll tell you how to identify the database is rack or non rack. I'll show you. Okay.
ఓకే.
Okay, to check the database is rack or non rack, you can check by using this parameter. Okay, show parameter cluster underscore database. If it is showing false means it is a non rack database. And also you can see from components, select comp ID status from DBA registry. It actually should show invalid. It actually should show invalid. Okay, so it is showing valid. Usually if it is a non-rack database, it definitely shows invalid. Make sure you have to understand. Okay, so if you want to check the database is non-rack database or rack database, so we can check in two ways. The first way is we can check based on the parameter, show parameter cluster underscore database is equal to false. If the value is false means it is a non-rack database. If the value is showing true means it's a rack database. And also the rack component should be invalid. Okay, invalid. Here it is showing valid because we created the database in the same machine. That's why it is showing valid. And now we are going to migrate this database from non-rack to rack. How to do that? So to do that, we have to shut down the database, put it in mount state. We have to take the cold backup. We have to take the cold backup. But while restoring into rack database, so we have to restore into ASM disk group. We have to restore into ASM disk group. Okay, we don't have space in the ASM disk group as of now. So that we are going to create a new ASM disk group from the storage. How to create the new ASM disk group from the storage, we'll see all those details now. Okay, so we will take the backup later. As of now, I stopped the database. The first step we have to do, if you want to migrate the database from non-rack to rack, the first step is we should have the disk group. Okay, we are going to create the disk group from the storage server. Let's connect to the storage server. So you have to give https://192.168.1.100:446. Okay, it is not allowing. Let's connect in another browser. So I am connecting to Edge. We'll see. It is also failing. Explorer, Internet Explorer. I am using this. more information, click on go to web page. So it will open the page like this way. Okay, if it is not opening in your system, you can open VNC there also. You can connect in Mozilla, there you can log in. Okay, that option also you can do. So go to volumes here. So we have to create a volume. Okay, so it will show like clearly like 8672 MB free space left. 8672 MB free space left. So we have 8 GB free space in this storage. So by using this, let's create one disk by using. Okay, so we'll take like, let's take an example. Our database size may be approximately 3 GB. So let's create a new disk with 3 GB. Create a new volume. Just a minute. Okay, so I am going to provide a volume for data disk. Okay, it's a data disk. The required size is, I need like 3000. I am putting like iSCSI. Okay, it's related to storage. You don't need to bother about these steps. So, so these things like OpenFire, all these things will not be there in the real time. This is prototype system which we are using as of now to work on the cluster, to understand the concept. This is the storage server. So there we are creating a disk with the size 3 GB. Okay, just click on create. The disk will be created. You can see the data disk here, the volume name, then edit, and we have to allow into rack 1 and rack 2. Just update. This is done. Next, it's done. Connect to the server as a root user. So we have to run fdisk-l, so it doesn't show anything. Okay, it should show the device or disk with the 3 GB. So you have to run the command iSCSI -m discovery -t send targets -p 192.168.1.100 -f. If we give fdisk-l now, the new disk is added with 3154 MB. You need to do partition this disk, fdisk this one, then np1 enter double. Yeah. So go to Oracle ASM list disks. Okay, we have one disk available. We are going to create a new disk. Oracle ASM create disk. So data 1 dev. What is the device name? Dev STC1. Dev STC1. Now the disk is created. You can go and check in Oracle ASM list disks. So we got the new disk data. The same way you have to connect to the second node. Okay, I'm just giving SSH. Here, if you go and check fdisk-l, it is not showing anything. If you go and check Oracle ASM list disks, it is showing only one disk. Okay, the first command you have to run is iSCSI -m discovery -t send targets -p 192.168.1.100 -f.
సార్
చెప్పండి.
ఇప్పుడు మనం ఓపెన్ ఫైల్ యూజ్ చేస్తున్నాం కాబట్టి iSCSI యూజ్ చేస్తున్నాము. రియల్ టైమ్ లో ఏది యూజ్ చేసినా స్టోరేజ్ కి మనం ఇదే కమాండ్ యూజ్ చేస్తామా?
It will be different.
చేంజ్ అవుతుంది.
Okay, so this will be different. What is the command they are going to use is different. We are not sure. That is depends on the storage which they are using. Few people are using
So
NetApp. Okay.
NetApp.
Okay. Few people are using NetApp. That is the storage concept. Okay. Few people are using something like Networker. That is a storage concept. We are not sure. For
This will be taken
understanding,
by people.
they will provide a LUN. They will provide a LUN, okay, to the server. LUN will come. Then we will do partition. Okay. From the partition, we create the ASM disk. All these steps will be done by Linux team only. Okay.
Okay.
What is our step? I'll tell you. Okay. What is our
Okay,
step?
sir.
I'll tell you. This is for understanding. For our understanding, we are doing all these steps. Okay.
Okay, sir.
What actually database related steps? So I'll tell you. Okay. So we are still in Linux administration steps. We run this. So now, after running this, if you run fdisk-l, we will get the result. Earlier, we have only 10.5 GB disk is showing. If you run now, you can clearly see the new disk is showing. Still, if you run Oracle ASM disk, it is showing this. So you have to run scan disks. Now list disks. Okay, new disk is added. Okay, it's done. Now, if you exit, you will be moved to rack 1, connect to the Oracle user. You have to connect to the ASM, like plus ASM1. So for any ASM, so you have to connect like SQL plus slash sysasm. For database user, we connect like sysdba. For ASM user, we connect like sysasm. Okay. So from this step onwards, we do. Okay. Our activity starts from this step. Okay. Select path, comma, headers underscore status from v dollar asm underscore disk. Okay, here you can clearly see provisioned. Provisioned is nothing but it's a new disk added to the server. New disk is added to the server. It doesn't contains any data. Member is nothing but it's already part of the group. Okay, disk group. Okay, so what is the meaning of member? What is the meaning of group? Group is nothing but it's a combination of members. Okay, so we have a team, right? Team contains team members. Okay, if the team member exit from the team, okay, he will be moved to the bench. Okay, if the new person joins in the organization, okay, he is provisioned. He is the new member in the bench. From the bench, he will be moved to the project. Okay, so the person coming from different company to the our current company, that is called provision. The person exit from the project and moving to the bench. Okay, that person we can call it as a farmer. Okay, he is the farmer employee of so and so project. Okay, so if the person is in the project, that person we can call it as a member. Now we have a provision disk. By using this provision disk, we are going to create the disk group. So what is the redundancy types in the disk group? Okay, this is nothing but disk group. The first redundancy type is external redundancy. The second redundancy type is normal redundancy. The third redundancy type is high redundancy. External, there is no mirror. Normal is nothing but one. Like so there are, this is calling it as two file groups. Okay, two file groups is nothing but two copies. Okay, two copies. High is nothing but three file groups, means three copies. So if you create a disk group, with external redundancy, okay, if the disk is corrupted, our entire database will be terminated. If it is a normal redundancy, you will have two disks. Okay, if one disk fails, okay, if one disk is corrupted, your data is available in another disk. Coming to the normal redundancy, we have three fail groups. Okay, out of three, if two disks are corrupted, okay, we have data available in one disk. Okay, this is what the concept of redundancies. Okay, now we have only one disk, right? By using one disk, we are going to create the ASM disk group. Okay, how to create the ASM disk group with external redundancy, okay, normal redundancy, high redundancy? I will create the statement. Create disk group. Suppose data external redundancy disk. Okay, so the disk is showing this, right? varcl data 1. What are the path it is showing? You have to give. If it is a normal redundancy disk group, let's take an example. You have to create two LUNs. Okay, so from two LUNs, we have to create the two Oracle ASM disks. Okay, you have to mention those two disks. If it is a high redundancy, the creation of the disk group will be looks like it will be three disks. This is what the concept of redundancy. Okay, let's create the database. Not. Okay, let's create the disk group here. Okay, so by using the first syntax, we have only one disk, right? By using one disk, we are creating a disk group. So the disk group name is data.
Sir, if you want to create the disk group with the external, normal or high, first those disk groups should be ever exist, right?
Yeah, we have to create a LUN from the storage. Then we have to mention two disks here. Okay, normal is nothing but two, right? Okay, two disks you have to mention. If it is high redundancy, here you have to specify three disks. Data 1, data
So
2,
for
data 3. Yeah. So to check the size of the disk group, total MB by 1024, free underscore MB by 1024 from $3 ASM underscore disk group. Here you can see you have two disk groups. Data disk group has 2.93 GB available. 2.88 GB available, okay, out of 2.9. So we are going to migrate the data from normal file system to ASM as well as non-RAC to RAC. How to do? Okay, we have a disk group. Now we are migrating the database from non-RAC to RAC with ASM concept. Just run dot space for inv kprod, connect to the database which we already shut down. So put the database in mount state. We take the backup. Which backup we can take? We can take call backup. By using call backup, we are going to restore the database into tech. So let's create one directory here. User one app Oracle. I'm trying to clean up. Okay, prod, right? Let's say this location. Just run backup database. Okay, let me run with parallelism to all with the parallelism for so just execute backup database command. Okay, backup is completed. Now shut down the DB.
It is in mount state, sir.
Yeah. Now the backup taken. By using this backup, we are going to restore kprod1. Okay. So we are going to create the instance kprod1. Now we have kprod. So this is the backup location. Go to setup environmental variables. Give this workspace for inv kprod1 cd dollar oracle home slash tvs move cp. Come here, create p file from sp file. Okay, where yeah. So I am removing this, opening this. Okay, if you want to create any, okay, let me remove this all these parameters. So control file, you have to give the path here. This data. Okay. You can put multiple control files also. Remaining things we can ignore. Okay, we can follow. Now start up the database in normal state. Okay, it's like a clone we have to perform.
Sir, what is the difference between clone, migration, and upgrade?
Clone is nothing but the database name will be different. Migration is nothing but the database name will be same. Okay, upgrade is nothing but we are upgrading the version of the database from 11G to 19C, 12C to 19C, 11G to 12C. That is what the difference. Duplicate database to kprod, backup location. This is something we have to provide. This is what the syntax we have to provide. Control file backup was not found. Okay, so this is what the control file backup. So we have to copy this and put it here. Let's put some channels. Allocate auxiliary channel C1 type, C2 type, disk, P3 type disk, C4 type disk, gen set this, duplicate database to kprod, backup location, this. Okay, there is some issue we got. Okay. So for this, we have to clean up. We have to shut down. Okay, it's a troubleshooting concept. Now it went down. Not sure. went down automatically. So we have to connect to the ASM instance. Okay. So ASM instance is like, so if you want to see the files inside ASM instance, we have to connect like ASM CMD. It's like export, import, EXPDP, ARM, and how we are connecting. The same way you have to connect like ASM CMD, ASM command prompt. There, if you go and see the Linux commands, if you execute ls, you can see the disk group names. LSDG will give the information of disk group, what is the size of the disk group, total size in MBs, free size in MBs. Okay, LSDSK, it will give the information of what are the disks we have in the ASM. So that type of information it will show. If you give PWD, it will show plus. If you want to go to this disk group, you have to give this one. If you give PWD, it will show like plus data. ASM always starts with plus. Then if you give ls, so it is not showing anything. Okay, nothing restored. Okay, so we have to connect like kprod one cd dollar for active home slash tbs. So I am doing some changes here. db underscore create underscore file underscore dest is equal to plus data. We have to give db create online log dest. Can you relog in the meeting?
Yes, sir.
Okay, once it is disconnected, just relog in the meeting. Then like SQL plus